This build has been used for multiple different Lian Li products, and I think you're already very familiar with the case. This is Lian Li Lancel 217 Infinity. We had that new power supply with that rotational shift for the inlet, and now we have the 4-slot vertical GPU kit. This is version 4. And apart from the regular vertical GPU kit that you had before, we have loads of updates that will definitely benefit the vertical position of the GPU. Now, the cool thing, and this is what I said last time for the vertical GPU mount, I'm really digging this one because it gives you option to tilt it forward, backward, raise it up or down. And you still have loads of space for connecting the cables at the back, which doesn't obstruct literally anything. So we're going to break it down today just to give you an idea what's it all about with this vertical GPU kit. Now in this scenario, I'm using PNY GeForce RTX 5080 ARGB Epic X, and it fits like a glove, I do have to admit. But concerning the position and everything that I placed, I really wanted to go a bit different and tilted it forward. Now let's go and check it out what we can expect. We have 3 height adjustments. You can fine-tune the GPU placement to optimize, of course, the airflow. As you can see in this scenario, I went with the possibility in the Lancel 217 to be able to be placed like this, but then again in this scenario you can place the fans in the bottom part of the power supply shroud, which then gives more free space for adjusting the height and literally everything regarding the vertical GPU kit. Now, apart from everything, we have the integrated addressable RGB light strip right here on front, but we'll get to that part. So, 3 height adjustments. We have the bracket that offers 3 mounting height options with 10.2 millimeters of adjustment between each level. This allows you to fine-tune the GPU placement for better cooling, as already stated. Now, 3 display angles. This gives you an option to tilt it forward, backward, and place it in the middle. So, neutral, forward tilt, and backward tilt. The forward tilt provides additional clearance for the large CPU air coolers and position the GPU a bit better for the air intake angle, as I did right here, while the backward tilt positions the GPU at a showcase angle, let's put it this way. There's one more thing, and you already know it from the V3. We have the anti-sag arm. You get those extensions that you place on the mounts for the motherboard. You lock the motherboard with those. You place that stand. I would suggest first placing that and then going with the vertical GPU mount. And I think I did that mistake in the last video, but just in case, do that prior to placing the anti-sag arm, which does help the GPU stand perfectly in line and also helps the vertical mount stay properly connected. Now, compatibility is with most ATX cases. It's designed for ATX motherboard support. The bracket requires at least 6 PCIe slots for standard vertical mounting and 7 slots for a tilt configuration. It also supports large GPUs, which are up to 4 slots thick, which is outstanding. This gives you quite nice compatibility options with modern high-end builds. Now for the riser, we have the 5.0 riser cable, which is 200 millimeters, 32 gigabits per second of bandwidth, and of course this doubles up on the PCIe Gen 4x0. For the diffuse, the LED, as you can see right here, I actually just went with the complete color scheme from the build, but you have a splitter cable running from the back. I would suggest also connecting that prior to this, or just checking it at the back and then connecting it somewhere at the back, depending on your configuration for that. But what you can do is simply plug it inside the 5-volt strip and addressable RGB header on your motherboard and pushing the rest of the cable at the back. Since it has a splitter, as you can see from a close-up, I actually connected first the vertical GPU mount, and then I placed the cable that was dangling around from something else here inside the build to that splitter cable, which is cool because you're not losing any additional addressable RGB headers. Now for the updates, what we have right here is increase for the PCI riser cable from 155 to 200 millimeters, which gives you better flexibility. Then we have the rubber pad that has been redesigned to be a bit thinner, preventing the GPU from being pushed upwards and detaching. Now we go forward with the third update, which is the cutout for the GPU I/O ports, well basically HDMI and display ports, has been enlarged so it reduces the interference of cable connection. For the second update, we have both 632 thread and M3 screws, which are included for greater compatibility across different case standoffs, of course. Then furthermore, we have the V4 version, which now includes the necessary accessory to adapt the anti-sag bracket to an E80X motherboard. And finally, the last one, but also quite important, I do have to admit, the frame design has been improved with narrower prongs to make the installation easier with some, let's say, third-party cases where the previous version didn't fit. When we're talking about the availability in MSRP, it should be available today, basically. It comes in black and white, of course, logical, and the price for both versions is $74.99. What I can say in terms of this vertical GPU mount is that it gives you flexibility to place the GPU as you desire. You can tilt it forward and backward, giving you options for air coolers, AIOs, and of course, taking into consideration a perfect airflow in this scenario. So this is quite cool. It gives you loads of options at the back to, well, basically clearance. And also depending on the position of the GPU, if you go and push it to the top maximum just to get the clearance for the fans on the power supply shroud, of course, depending on the case. Not all cases can support fans being mounted at the bottom, but if you do have fans on the power supply shroud and you want and you need to push the GPU upwards, I think you're losing the top connection. In my scenario, I did lost the display port, but you still have one HDMI specifically for this card, one HDMI and two display ports. So it kind of goes into that segment. You could lower it down, get the full compatibility, full options, and of course full connectivity. But I just wanted to say that so you know, in this scenario where you twist it a bit, but you know what? If, for instance, inside this case, if I place these fans at the bottom and push the GPU to the fullest, lowest part, you could actually get all 4 slots available, and that's it. This is just in the highest position. So guys, another update which kind of brings more cool stuff to the table in terms of thinking, redesigning, and making their products to the most possible perfect state that it is possible. The links for the 4-slot vertical GPU mounting kit VG4V4 is in the description below. If I can't find it anywhere in the stores, I'll temporarily place a link to their official website so you can check it there. And that'll be all for today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, of course, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and I'll see you soon in another one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.